Hi everyone, my name is James and I'm one of the CAT volunteers this year. So in this video, for one of the activities you can try at home, I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about how to do some breakdancing. So obviously breakdancing is a sport that requires quite a lot of space. So this is something you're going to need to think about for this activity. Try to find somewhere where there's a lot of space around you. So for me, my house isn't really big enough to do any breakdancing inside because all the rooms are quite small. So instead I'm going out into my garden for this. But obviously if you're going out in the garden, you also need to think about what might be on the floor and about whether it's wet and things like that. So just put a little bit of thought into where you're going before you start to do this video. So there are lots of different parts of breakdancing. Today, the two things we're going to talk about are some groundwork and a freeze. So groundwork is the stuff that we do down on the floor, where we have sort of dynamic in-motion dance moves. And then freezes are a thing which we can do normally also down close to the floor, but instead of being dynamic and in motion, as the name suggests, they're very static. So we're going to get into a position and we're going to hold it. So first up, I'm going to head outside now and we can have a look at the 6-step, which is some groundwork. So here we are outside, ready to do our groundwork move. So groundwork is the stuff we do when we're down close to the ground, of getting around on the floor. And this move that we're going to look at today, this is called the 6-step. And this is like our basic move of groundwork from which we can build up all sorts of other things. So to start off with, we're just going to be squatted down on the ground here. And this is like our central place, our place we come home to in our groundwork. So you'll find a lot of moves will start and end from this place. Now, as you might have guessed from the name, the 6-step is a move which is comprised of 6 different steps. So we're going to go through them one at a time. So, starting from here, squatting down, the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to lean over a bit to the left. Our right leg is going to come out, curl around our left leg, and our right hand is going to go down on the floor like this. So let's do that again. So from our central position, we lean over, lift up our right leg, curl it round, and put our right hand down. Okay. Once more, and this time I'll do it quickly, all together. So it looks something like this. Okay. Now what I suggest is you pause the video there for a minute and just have a practice of that move a few times before we move on. Okay. Now once you've got the hang of that, we can look at the next move. So that starts from this place. So we've got our right leg curled around our left leg. And now what's going to happen is our left leg is going to step backwards. So that we're going to come out like this and our left arm is going to go up in the air. So that's from here, left leg backwards, left arm up in the air. Okay, move number 3. Our right leg is going to step back and our left arm is going to come down so that we're sort of in like a press up position. So we're leaning forward with our feet back and our hands in front of us. Okay, now we're halfway round and this move is a bit of a circle. So what we're now going to do is basically the reverse of that on the other side. So first of all, our left leg is going to step forward and our right leg is going to come up. So this is the reverse of where we were a minute ago. Then what's going to happen, our right foot is going to step forward into the knee of our left leg. So this again should be familiar from quite recently. And then to finish it off, our left leg is going to uncurl and we're going to straighten up so that we can end up back in this central squatting position. Okay, let's try putting that all together then to make that into one move. So, starting from this central position, we curl our right leg round, we step our left foot back and put our left arm up. Our right leg steps back and our left arm comes down. Then our left leg is going to step through, right leg behind the knee, and then we uncurl. Okay, great. So obviously that's going to take a bit of practice to get the hang of, but that's fine. Just have a go, watch over the video a few more times, get to grips with it. And as you start to get the hang of this move, I want you to imagine that you're doing this along to music. So we've got 6 steps here, and if you were doing this in proper breakdancing, you do each step on one beat of the music. So that might look something like this. Bop, 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 4. Okay, great. So spend some time practicing that and then come back to this video when we can look at our next move. So that was the 6th step. I hope you've managed to have a go at doing that by now. Now, as you might have been able to tell from that, the 6th step is actually something you can do in either direction on either side. So something you might like to try at some point is just to do the 6th step again, but going round in the other direction. So you would start by curling your left foot around your right foot. Now, if you're into that groundwork and you want to go further in this, another thing you can do is look up some of the other similar moves online, and there are loads of great YouTube resources out there for that. So the 6th step is actually one of a number of numbered steps. They go all the way from the 2 step up to the 12 step, and you can check them out and maybe try some of those out as well. Moving on though, we're now going to have a look at a freeze. So as I mentioned, this is a much more static position. So once again, let's head on outside and see what we can do. Okay, so the baby freeze. Now, as we just mentioned, this is something that we sort of get into and hold rather than being a dynamic, fluid move. And just like the 6th step, this move is going to start from this position where we're squatting down on the floor. Now this is something that you can do either to the right or the left. So I'm going to go over to the right because I'm right-handed, but feel free to do what works with you, or even try it on both sides. So this is one where we need to be quite careful about where our arms and legs end up, because we need some quite specific placements. So let's start with our right arm. So my right arm is going to go down on the floor at my side, and I want my elbow to be tucked up into my hip, okay? Now it's really important that you get the elbow bone as close to the hip bone as possible. So in this move we want everything to, all the weight to be on bone against bone. Now with my left arm, I'm going to put that down as well, next to me. And here I want my elbow to be next to my knee. So it's really important you don't put it above where it will slide off like this. You want elbow next to knee. And then I'm just going to start to lean over, keeping them in position, and let my head go down to the ground. And now my weight is on that knee and on that hip. And then I can come off. And once you're in that position, you should feel that most of your weight is not being held by your muscles, but just by your skeleton weighing down on itself. So that means that you can hold it for a lot longer. And just to help you really see what's going on there, I'm just going to do the same from a different angle so you can see the right elbow and the right hip a bit better. So once again, left elbow, left knee. Right elbow, right hip, and over. So, it'll probably take you a few attempts to get the hang of it, but that's fine. Let's do it just once more together. So, left arm, elbow next to knee, right arm, elbow next to hip. And you really need to get those both, your hip and your knee over those arms to hang up like this. Great. So, have a few practices of that. See if you can get the hang of that one as well. Well, I hope you managed to do the baby freeze as well. That is the last move that we're going to look at today. Obviously, breakdancing is a much bigger sport than the 2 things we've looked at today. So if you've enjoyed it, I really do encourage you to check out some of the other things that you can do alongside this. Just like there being other steps, there are of course many different freezes in addition to the baby freeze. But we are going to end that video here. So hopefully I will see some of you guys at our day trips and our residentials very soon. Bye.